What's up, nerds, and welcome to the Nerd History Podcast, a proud part of the Love Thy Nerd Podcast Network, and your home for celebrating the nostalgia that has shaped nerd culture. I'm Radio Matt. I'm the Director of Content and Resources for Love Thy Nerd, and with me today and forevermore is my amazing bride and newly minted 37-year-old,
Thanks,
Deidra. Happy birthday.
Hi, my name is Deidra, and I am old. I'm sorry if you're older than me and took offense to that.
We are the Nerd Historians, and today on the show, we are taking a look back at the history of Bluey, which, yes, isn't that old. Celebrating its fifth...
We don't care. We want to talk about it.
It's celebrating its 5th anniversary of premiering in the U.S. this coming Monday. And even though it's not that old, it certainly has carved out its spot in children's TV history pretty much from the beginning, immediately. It's like, yep, this is different and special. We're going to talk all about it. I would say that this is a show you and I have watched more than any other kids show.
Ever.
Not just in the amount of times through it, but also like intently watched. Like this show gets our attention. Unlike, I would say, every other kids show we've ever experienced, all of those get put on and they're just in the background.
Right.
For the most part. Bluey, anytime it's on, we're watching it.
Right.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had Bluey on in the background and been able to not watch it.
Not watch it or like listen, at least when you're running around doing stuff. Yeah.
Like we even bought the DVDs to have it in our van. And though we're not watching it, we keep it loud enough to where we can hear each episode as it plays.
I will say that I have a rule with the kids when I'm dropping them off for school that we don't have the TV on. Like I want to talk to them about their day. But when I drop them off and I'm on my way to work, I turn it on and listen to it.
You just hit the play button. So I guess it's safe to say that you should be an expert.
No, not at all.
Which is why I've crafted a difficult quiz. We have a game. Do you know what's it called? Is it just Scavenger Hunt? Bluey Scavenger Hunt?
I think so.
Yeah. And part of that is like Bluey trivia. And it is the simplest. Yeah, it's aimed to 3-year-olds. I'm like, you want some real trivia? I got some real trivia for you.
Can't wait.
All right. Yeah, I feel like
Jean-Luc versus...
No. There are 8 answers here. I feel like you can run the gamut. I think you can get all 8.
Okay. There's just 8?
Just 8.
All right. How hard are they?
We'll see.
God.
We'll judge with the first one. What city do they live in?
I don't know. Can I tell you the country? Do they say the name of the city? Did they only say it in the last episode? I
have no idea.
Why don't you do your research before asking me questions?
Maybe I do have an idea, but I don't want to give it to you.
I got nothing. I don't know.
Well, name some cities in Australia that you know.
Sydney.
That's a city, yes.
Yep.
You should know Perth. That's where our friends from Australia are from.
Okay. I just knew they were friends from Australia.
You don't remember getting them from Perth? Like we were talking about it when we got their gifts. They're like, hey, we got stuff from Perth, Australia.
Oh, my mind
just blanked out. Australia.
Forgot.
It's so far away, it doesn't matter. Sydney, Perth, who cares? It's all one place because it's so far away. They are from Brisbane.
Wow, yeah.
Brisbane, Australia.
All right.
Not off to a good start.
Nope.
What is Bandit's job?
He's an archaeologist.
There we go. Point on the board. Where does Chili work?
Yeah, I don't know. I've been trying to figure it out.
They do make it clear.
Like I only know Bandit's job because I saw people talking about it online, not because I caught it on the show.
I don't think they have said what her job is, but they have showed us where she works, which is at the airport.
Okay, interesting. Had no idea.
Yeah.
Honestly, for a long time, I thought Bandit was a pilot because they talked about him flying to Long Beach.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, there are a couple times where he left.
And he's got to go on planes a lot. So I was like, oh, he's a pilot.
Yeah, but he's home too much.
Right.
Like. What is Chili's sister's name? I can give you a rhyming hint if you'd like.
Yeah, only thing that comes to mind is Trixie, and that's
no.
That's
Okay, rhymes with candy.
Mandy, Bandy, Handy,
no,
Landy.
No. Were any of those even names? Mandy was the name.
I thought I said Mandy.
Yeah, I'm trying to say. I was trying to figure out if anything you said was a name. Mandy was a name, but you said Bandy? Like Band-Aid? Brandy.
Brandy.
Brandy is her
Okay.
name.
Yeah.
How old is Bluey?
She's 6 or 7, depending on when you're watching.
How old is Bluey as of now?
7.
Correct. That's 2. Where do Bluey and Bingo think money comes from?
The machine in the wall.
Perfect. Who is Bluey's official best friend?
Bluey's official best friend. Ooh. I don't know.
Make a guess.
Is it judo?
Nope.
No.
Not judo. I'll give you one more guess.
Coco?
It's Chloe.
Chloe.
Chloe is Bluey's official best friend.
Okay.
All right, last one. Let's see if you can at least get half. This will give you 4 if you get it right. Where did Chili and Bandit first officially meet?
Well, some party in London.
Correct. Fancy party in London. Unofficially, they may have met
Right.
at a campground thing
When they were
when they
little.
were kids. But officially, there's some debate.
Well, there's some debate.
All right, for anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about, Bluey is an Australian animated television series that has gained immense popularity among children and parents alike. The show centers around the life of a blue heeler puppy named Bluey, who is 6 years old at the start of the series, and lives with her family in Brisbane, Australia. Her family consists of her father, Bandit, her mother, Chili, and her younger sister, Bingo. The show beautifully captures the essence of childhood, the importance of play, and the value of family. The heart of Bluey is the idea of imaginative play.
Okay.
Right? Each episode typically follows Bluey and her family as they engage in various games and adventures that are driven by Bluey's active imagination. Most of the time, unlike, I would say, many kids shows, even though it's imaginative play, we're not seeing it from the perspective of imagination. We're seeing it playing out practically as it would in the real world.
Right.
They're pretending, but we're not like seeing the pretend world that Bluey's seeing in her mind.
Right.
I feel like that's
they're
the
on
typical
the pirate ship with the whale.
Right.
There, you can just see them in the park, and it's the whale just making whale noises. Yeah.
Right. Or when the other whale story where Bandit is a boat on rocky seas and Chili is a whale. They're just sitting on their dad, and the mom is stuck on the couch not wanting to do something. And that's all we ever see. They never transform into an actual ship or whale, which I think is unique, like I said, but also brilliant.
Right.
Because it makes it fun, and it also allows you to see what that would look like in real life terms. Through these games, the show cleverly addresses a wide range of themes: problem solving, empathy, patience, creativity, even some difficult things in a safe and accessible way. One of the key strengths of Bluey is its realistic portrayal of family dynamics. The parents, Bandit and Chili, are loving and supportive, but also have their own flaws and challenges and failures as parents. That one of the things that I really love about the show is how dirty their car is.
Yeah.
Their back seat is full of food and crayons and stickers, and
it's always different.
Yeah,
too.
It changes, and it's like, yeah, that's the typical American family SUV right there.
Right. Yeah.
Never the case in any other kids show.
Right. Yeah.
Bandit the father often plays an active role in Bluey and Bingo's games, showcasing his playful and caring nature. Chili the mother balances work and home life while providing guidance and wisdom to her daughters. The relationship between Bluey and Bingo is also central to the show, highlighting the bond between siblings. They sometimes disagree and bicker, like kids do.
What?
But their love for each other is always evident. The show's animation style is colorful and engaging, appeals to young viewers while still maintaining a simplicity and, conversely, a complexity that we don't often get from kids' shows. Most kids' shows are very rounded and soft and uncluttered, non-stimulating beyond bright colors and shapes. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like contrasting the style of animation from Blue's Clues to Bluey.
Right. Very different.
Very different styles. This is, I would say, Bluey is more akin to the animation style of like The Simpsons. Like, I mean, you're seeing a fully animated sets, fully animated areas, fully animated driving.
Right.
Like, it's not watered down animation.
Right. Like
I
it's,
like.
yeah. They put a lot of thought and detail into every bit of it. Yeah.
And even Easter eggs. They have famously, every episode has some hidden long dog somewhere, a little wiener dog hidden somewhere in the background for you to find.
I am terrible at finding
I
that.
have found none on my
Yeah.
own.
Yeah. I've of course it's, I think it's because when you watch the episode, you're just intently watching the episode.
They're too good. Yeah. I can't tell you the number of like inside jokes or whatever I've missed from The Office.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm so engrossed in the story and laughing at the jokes that I miss something happening in the background.
Right.
Or even like, I think the most famous one is Community. Community has an episode where Abed, who is the most meta character, takes a back seat in the story. Like, he literally starts the episode like, I can stay in the background for an episode. And he literally like goes through this whole storyline in the background where he meets like a pregnant woman and her the father. I don't know if it's husband or whatnot. And by the end of the episode, he delivers the baby.
Right.
And it took me over a dozen watches to actually see any of this happen. Because by the time I would get to that episode in the season, I'd forgot that was coming, and I could never see it. I'm always watching the foreground and never the background. It's difficult, but fun.
Yeah.
For adults, the show provides a nostalgic reminder of the joys of childhood and the importance of nurturing creativity and curiosity in their children. I will say that there our situation kind of mirrors Chili and Bandit. Chili has more of a day job that she's away from the house for. Bandit mostly works from home.
Yeah.
Goes on the occasional trip.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about what we are.
That's true.
And so I mostly work from home. And so I am home with our kids throughout the week.
Mm-hmm. Poor you.
But I'm also working. And so I find it difficult.
But you don't have a yoga ball for them to come take.
I do not. But I find it difficult sometimes because I know I have like stuff I need to get done. And our daughter or one of our sons wants to play. And I'm like, I have to balance between making sure I'm meeting my deadlines and like, don't miss their whole childhood working. Like, find little ways. And like the other day, I think it was just like I needed to go to the store. And Eli came and ran to me. He's never does this. But he's like, can I come with you? And I'm like, no, I'm just going to run real quick. And I walk out to the car. I'm like, oh, hold on. This is such an easy way for me to make him feel important. And we can have some time together, which we rarely get anymore because he's growing up.
Right.
And so I go back in and like, hey, get your shoes on. Let's go. What am I waiting for? Mm-hmm. And we had a good time, and it's a simple little thing. But those are the kind of things that they kind of showcase every now and then in this show is, we'll see Bandit saying, I need to get to work or I need to do this. And he still makes the time, makes the effort to play. I like that when the kids suggest a game, it's almost always his response, oh, not this game. Like he doesn't want to do these things, and yet he still wants to do them.
That is also like a running joke, right? Every time they suggest something like, oh, not whatever the game is. And the kids do it back to them, too. There was...
Whenever it's their idea.
Yeah, there was the ragdoll episode. When they find money and they're like, take us to get ice cream. And he's like, you got to work for your money. And he goes, boop, ragdoll, and just falls limp to the floor. And the kids are like, oh, not ragdoll. Yeah, like
Stop
they do it too.
trying to teach us things we don't want to learn.
Yeah.
The humor in Bluey is another aspect that makes it appealing to a broad audience. The show incorporates lighthearted jokes and situations that are relatable to parents, often reflecting the humorous side of parenting and the small everyday moments that bring joy to family life. One thing I very much appreciate about Bluey is that they do not try to sneak in adult sex jokes, jokes that will go over the kids' heads. They have... like one episode where I think they allude to the fact that the parents maybe drank a little too much at a New Year's Eve celebration. But it's not done with a wink and a nod of like, haha, we're getting away with something. Right. It's more done like we have made a mistake.
I want to never do that again.
But overall, Bluey is a heartwarming, delightful series that celebrates the wonder of childhood, the joys of family life, and the power of imagination. I thought we could go through a few episodes.
Okay.
And talk about how the episodes went.
Sorry.
And that's fine. Just ruin our whole set.
Did not.
So, I don't know if you remember this.
Uh-huh.
But when Bluey first was put on Disney Plus, which is where we first experienced it, they actually uploaded it as like full shows, like full, I think they used 3 episodes as one show. And so they would play back to back. And they actually were presented in a different order. And so originally, when they very first were put on Disney Plus, the first episode was Keepy Uppy. Now it's the Magic Xylophone. And that is technically the first episode, the Magic Xylophone.
Okay.
The Keepy Uppy was the first one that we ever saw.
That's true. Uh-huh.
And in this episode, Bluey discovers that she has one lone balloon left in this bag of balloons, like, the dollar one that you get at the store. When Chili turns it into a fun game where Bluey and Bingo must keep the balloon from touching the ground. We've all played it. Didn't know it had a name, but it does.
Now
Keepy Uppy.
That is what every child calls it, by the way.
Yes. Every child across the globe calls that keep you uppy now. When the game begins to lose its thrill, Bandit steps in to make things more challenging. The episode is filled with excitement and concludes with the inevitable deflation of the balloon. It's a great showcase of the healers' personalities and their interactions, highlighting how Chili and Bandit constructively build on their children's antics in ways that real-life parents can only admire. So, I loved this episode as an introduction to the family because it felt like a genuine family. It felt like what we would do.
Right.
You would be exciting, giving them a game. Here, let's play this. Let's keep the balloon up. And then I would come in and start making it difficult. Well, let's turn the fan on. Oh, let's kick it behind me and make you run for it. That kind of thing.
Right. And it's funny because, she gives them a game to play and then goes and does some work. Right. She's like, I'm giving you the game so I can do this. And then Dad has to play it with her. She's like, okay, I'm out. I gave you the game. I'm going to go do the dishes.
Yeah. Honestly, I think it is a perfect first episode. Better so than the Magic Xylophone. The Magic Xylophone dives into their first big imagination kind of play. But this is just a normal
round
introduction to a family situation. I think it's beautiful, and I think that's the one you should watch first if you've never watched it. Next episode I want to talk about is Fruit Bat.
Okay.
Chili and Bannon are known for their unparalleled commitment to playing with their children, embracing whatever imaginative scenario Bluey or Bingo conjures up. Even if it means a bit of public embarrassment or enduring some discomfort, the episode Fruit Bat beautifully illustrates the healer family dynamics and introduces the concept of the tactical Wii. A preemptive bathroom trip to avoid an accident. The story also explores Bluey's dreamscape, where she watches her dad play touch football with his friends, something he doesn't get to do often anymore because of parental responsibilities. This is the first time that we kind of get to see an imagination world.
That's true.
Because it's her dream.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it almost feels out of place.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Because it is just not a common aspect of the show to see something outside the real world. This episode kind of explores the idea of a kid struggling to go to sleep, which we have. Both of our kids, every kid has it every now and then.
That's true.
Just can't go to sleep.
And they gotta come tell you. They can't just lay in bed and eventually go to sleep.
There's something wrong and it must be fixed.
I gotta come tell you, I can't get to sleep.
And a problem that especially adults still have.
That's true.
You can't get to sleep to save your life most nights.
That's true.
Not me.
Which is, yeah.
I am dead. As soon as I hit the pillow, I'm gone. Deidra and I will be talking. We will end the conversation, and I will immediately start snoring. That's what I've been told.
Or we're talking, and you say something, and there's a second pause. And then I say something and wake you up because you've already fallen asleep, and I freak you out, and I'm like, we were talking.
We were mid-conversation. You just asked me a question.
Yeah.
And then fell asleep. I think we are embracing the idea of the tactical Wii. I think we've done that with each of our children. But now we are...
Now we have a name for it.
Yeah, we have a name for it. And we are potty training. Pretty much potty trained.
I would say
our daughter now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah. Well, it went really quick because we waited till she was 3.
Yeah.
And that's how it worked. Worked really well. But yeah, the tactical Wii before you leave or right before bed, right before nap time. It's a smart move.
That's what you got to do.
What you got to do as a parent. All right, next episode, fairies.
Ooh.
So many episodes, one of the parents, usually Bandit, makes a mistake, as all parents do. In Fairies, Bandit hurts Bingo's feelings when he snaps at her while writing a work email. So to make amends, Bandit and Chili pretend that fairies have invaded their home, leading Bandit to perform an embarrassing dance in front of their neighbors to appease the fairies. The episode underscores a recurring theme in Bluey that all parents mess up, but how they respond to their mistakes is just as crucial as trying not to make them in the first place.
Yeah.
I could have never guessed how often I would screw up as a parent. Like, I expect, like, some manure, it's not as much. That was my mindset. Like, I didn't expect to be this bad. But one thing I am proud of myself for is that when I screw up, I have been pretty good about apologizing for it and explaining how I screwed up and why it was my fault and not theirs. Sucks. It's hard.
Have
it's
you
hard
ever
as a parent.
danced around the mailbox with skates on your feet?
No, but I do
Hands.
some pretty weird things around the house for their amusement. I think you can attest to.
That's true. What is this thing?
That's the monkey move. I learned that from Bubba, of all people. Okay. Bubba over on the Super Retro Bros podcast, CEO of Love Thy Nerd. It was this weird like monkey walk thing that he did in junior high. And I always thought it was hilarious. And I've been doing it for my whole life. I just don't do it a lot, but I've employed it with the children. And I've embraced a weird character from Smosh that goes whenever he's chasing around somebody. It's just fun little characters you pick up that drive them nuts and make them laugh. Let's talk about Sleepy Time. So this, I think, is another one where we actually get to see the dreamscape, but probably the most beautiful episode of all of them. Just visually stunning.
Was it like the first kind of artistic one that they did?
I feel like it. Yeah. I can't remember another one actually like that before or since. Like that one really is.
They have that rain one.
That's right. They have the Silent Rain one. But even that isn't so much artistic as it is more about the personalities involved. The artistic is the Sleepy Time is more allegorical, and like it's showing you representations of the real life wrapped up in this like flying through the galaxy kind of thing. It's an episode where Bingo is striving to stay in her bed at night, all night. She drifts into the Streamland where she and her stuffed bunny explore the solar system, and her parents deal with the typical nighttime awakenings of a household with young children. The episode's imagery is breathtaking. Bingo's cosmic journey has tiny little details like dust floating around by a glass of water by her bed, like all these just really heavily focused animation designs. It beautifully captures the love and comfort that Bingo receives from her family, with Chili's love symbolizes the warmth of the sun in Bingo's dream. It's an emotionally powerful episode. And yes, it is similar to Rain, which is what that episode is, where Bluey is finding joy in just the rainstorm. That Chili is basically cleaning up rainwater out of the house, and Bluey keeps running into the house to get more stuff to try and block the rain because she's trying to make like a little dam. And eventually just like, okay, let's embrace the rain, which I think is something that you have done a lot with the children.
With the rain?
With rain and with snow and all that. It's like,
how often do we get that
right
here? I mean,
we want to, every time it's there, no matter the mess it's going to cause, knowing that all the kids are going to have to take showers and baths, but let's dive in. Let's enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's, especially the snow. Snow's such a, such a chore. There's so much you got to dress up in. Oh, man.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Just a big old mess right inside the door when you take everything off.
But it's important because these are the memories that the kids get to make. Like little things. And I think Bluey really showcases this. Little things, little moments, little adventures will have a really big impact on them in the future. You did something this past week that was cheap and easy and simple. And I said immediately afterwards, is like, this is going to be something they're going to remember and talk about the rest of their lives. And it was so simple and silly. And it was, you went to the store and just decided out of the blue, we're going to get every flavor of ramen noodles and we're all going to have a big taste test. And you got all the flavors, even ones that you didn't think you would like, even the ones you didn't think the kids would like, even the spicy ones and the weird ones. Got all that we could get and lined it up and filmed this little video of all of us trying them, and some of them being gross and running away, and some of them being like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is so good. Got some surprise ones there.
That's true.
It's very surprising which ones the boys like the most. Something they never had before, and something that seems to be more of a diverse or divisive flavor. But still, like that is something that was so simple. It cost us less than $5.
Right.
And they're going to be telling their future spouses, just one time we ate like every ramen noodle in one night.
Every ramen noodle.
Just to see which one was we liked. It's not going to be a bombastic thing, but it's going to be a heartwarming thing. That's chicken soup for the soul. I mean, that's one of those things that's just like, that was a great memory.
Yeah.
That is something that I think Bluey as a show is really trying to push, is that you don't have to do these giant trips to Disney World every month, every year to make memories. You can make memories in simple ways
right
here at home. Right. Let's talk about some emotional stuff here. Baby Race.
Oh, yeah.
Baby Race, an emotional episode designed to tug at the heartstrings of parents. Features a flashback of Bluey as a baby, focusing on Chili's experience as a new mother, when Bluey is slower to learn to walk compared to other babies, and Chili is feeling like a failure, wondering if there's something wrong with Bluey, if there's something wrong with her. Coco's mom reassures her that she's a good mom, a message that every parent needs to hear. The episode's...
You're doing great.
I thought you were going to say you're a good mom. You're doing great. Oh, it was I'm not a mom. But still, I cry. I tear up at that moment. The episode's climax, with baby Bluey takes her first steps towards her mom in the kitchen, is sure to leave viewers in tears. Coco's mom has 9 kids. We all have that one friend.
But it's awesome that she recognized that Chili needed to hear that. Like, it was also speaking to, I think, moms and, the seasoned moms reaching out to the new moms.
When you are very first-time parents, you question every single thing you do with your kid, and worry that everything you do is wrong, and then that those wrong things are going to screw that kid up for the rest of their life. And the second child, you're a little more like, okay, this kid will have some unique challenges it will have to face, but it's all right. Third child, you are bouncing that child like a basketball everywhere you go. They'll be fine.
Okay.
All right, I want to talk about one of my absolute favorite episodes. Facey Talk.
I love that episode.
We are both fans of Muffin, the cousin?
Yeah.
Cousin of Bluey. Facey Talk is
We all know a muffin.
a unique highlight offering a humorous critique of millennial parenting practices. The episode is mostly viewed through the screens of Bluey and Bingo's tablets as they video chat with their cousins, Muffin and Socks. Muffin's antics, including stealing her dad's phone and running around the house, are shown through the phone's perspective. Complete with faux backgrounds and playful chaos, the episode is fast-paced. It's hilarious. It packs a whole lot of story into 6.5 minutes. It's basically set up as each family has one tablet.
Right.
And they're doing Facey Talk, and on the Facey Talk you can draw. And so they're having to take turns of who's drawing. And it's set up initially that Muffin, when Dad says it's time to swap to Socks, you need to give it over to Socks. And then Muffin doesn't finish drawing her cowboy hat and refuses to do it. And then gets chased out of the room and steals her dad's phone and gets onto the call and then starts doing it on the phone and then starts running away and hiding. I think it's hilarious that Muffin keeps asking Bluey and Bingo for help running away from her dad.
He puts the phone like out in the hall, like, is he out? Is it clear? And they're like, it's clear, but I'm not sure I should be helping you.
Don't help her, Bingo. It's really funny, really well done. But it also showcases the parents in the background. This is, I don't remember their names now offhand.
Trixie.
Is it Trixie? And
that's what they call her for short. Oh my gosh. See? Now I can't think of it.
The brother. It's Bandit's brother. Bandit's little
Stripes.
brother. Is it Stripe? Classic Stripe. Yeah, it's Stripe. All right, so they are basically kind of arguing over what parenting style to use, but also they're both kind of unsure about it. Because Trixie's like, oh, we're not supposed to do, is it timeouts?
Yeah, we're not doing timeouts anymore.
Because I read a blog.
Yeah. Yeah, but she didn't tell him that. And she's like, well, because you're never around. And yeah, it's like,
just let me do it. And like, well, I need to be able to do it too.
Right, yeah.
And it's, they both have valid concerns, and they're both not handling it well, and they're having an argument. And Bandit notices this, and he's like, we need to mute this, and they eventually mute it. And we see them
hug in the background.
And figure out, all right, let's do this together. And then they come together and they chase Muffin down, and then the phone ends up in the pool.
And Muffin ends up where? In time.
In time.
Well, the funny thing is at the beginning of the episode, Bandit is telling Bluey and Bingo, to make sure and share.
Yeah.
The
No
drawing.
hogging.
No hogging.
Yeah.
And they say, like, because we all know what happens when we hog. And they're like, yes, Dad. And then Bluey's like, what does happen if we hog? And then they find out with Muffin and Socks. And then at the end, she gives Bingo a turn because, yes, she knows what happens when they hog.
All right. Next up, we got two more. Next up is Relax. Relax addresses a core message of the series, finding joy in the everyday.
Oh, okay.
While on vacation, the Healer family is excited about the beach and the hotel amenities, and Chili, who is determined to relax, struggles to unwind and ultimately finds joy in watching her children enjoy simple pleasures. The episode conveys the show's implicit mantra, you kids just go about it. It encourages viewers to take a breath and find their own wonder in the everyday. If we want to get super deep about this, I feel like that's something you and I both struggle with.
Yeah.
We both work a lot. You work a lot, and now you also have school. I have 2 ministry jobs. We both deal with dozens and dozens of people each week.
Right.
We have very little time, just you and I. We have very little time to ourselves that's not bogged down in work. It is hard when we actually come across moments of possible piece for us to not be like,
gotcha.
Maybe I should clean the whole house, or maybe I should do this other project that I've been putting off for forever.
Right.
And just like enjoy some moments.
I also took that as like vacation time. Maybe chillax and just enjoy a day. You know, you don't have to plan to the minute what you're doing.
Why don't you just say my name out loud? I don't understand. Why are we being coy about this?
I wasn't meaning to say that. Like when I started the sentence, I wasn't meaning to point it at you, and then like as I'm talking, I'm like, oh, this.
As I'm talking, I'm perfectly
talking to the
explaining my husband.
Person who makes an
Look,
agenda.
I was about to say before you started saying it, yes, I am the planner when it comes to trips and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I will say the most recent big vacation that you and I went on by ourselves, we made it a point to be like, we know where we're going to end each day. Beyond that, we'll just find a hotel. We just picked whatever we could find. We won't plan where we're going to go restaurant-wise. We won't plan what we're going to do when we're there, aside from a couple key things, like we went to Mount Rushmore. And we'll just kind of free flow. And it was a blast.
Yeah.
It was the coolest trip I've ever been on. And I loved it. And I loved not having all that pressure. I love there not being like, oh, we got to get here by this time.
Right.
Or we're not going to make it.
Like the thing is, she's like, we got to get to the beach, right? And the kids are just having fun in the hotel room. Like
they're playing with the toilet.
They're just like, they're fine not immediately dropping stuff and getting to the beach. Like they want to just be in the moment.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the final one here. I want to talk about the sign.
Well, of course.
So in the episode prior to this, we learn that their house is for sale. We don't have, like, there's not really any lead up to it before that. It kind of hits us out of the blue. But then that leads us into the sign. And the sign is basically a Bluey movie by comparison timely. I mean, it's really 28 minutes long, which is like 4 Blueys together, but that's a movie compared to a 7-minute episode. Right. It explores the emotional weight of the healer's impending move to another city. It's intertwined with preparations for Uncle Rad and Aunt Frisky's wedding. Rad being the oldest of the brothers, I believe. Yeah. And Frisky was the babysitter for Bluey and Bingo. And they met in a previous episode when they both thought they were babysitting that night.
Double babysitter.
And then they decided to both babysit that night.
Yeah.
And it was cool and cute. Episode is filled with callbacks to previous episodes, delivers a powerful emotional punch. Answers some questions from other episodes, which I don't want to spoil. I'm not going to spoil because it's new enough that I don't want to spoil it. Yeah. Because I think if you watch through the other episodes, you'd be like we were. So, but it makes a significant and impactful installment. I don't want to talk about how it ends either. Okay. Let's just kind of be vague. It was beautiful.
Beautiful. Can I talk about how I love the song?
The song. Oh, so
I'm just gonna cry just thinking about.
There's a teacher in the show named Calypso. And it's the woman who voices Calypso is the one singing the song. Yeah.
I didn't even catch that.
A beautiful song.
Wow. I can hear that now.
Yeah. The mechanic employed in this episode, the story mechanic, is the butterfly effect. Right. Essentially. Exactly. Like they use a butterfly. Right. The butterfly sets forward a motion of. Right. I mean, we can say that the main problem of the episode is that Frisky is having second thoughts about getting married and kind of runs off.
Right.
And so they're trying to find Trixie.
Yeah.
And so it's really
the bride ran away.
Yeah.
We're trying to find her.
But we see all these different little instances of things happening in a way that could be good luck, could be bad luck.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We'll see,
mm-hmm.
kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, it's pushing the story forward.
Mm-hmm.
I like that aspect of the show. It's really kind of grounding you in reality a bit. Of things are going to happen. They might be good. They might be bad.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean you stop moving forward,
mm-hmm.
no matter what it winds up being.
Mm-hmm.
And basically it just says you're going to have good days. You're going to have bad days.
Can we talk about like the little story, like that Calypso tells Bluey?
Yeah.
The we'll see.
Do you remember? Yeah. Do you remember how to tell it? I don't remember it all.
There's a farmer who lives in a town and has horses, and one day his horse escapes, and the townspeople say, "Oh, that's bad luck," and he says, "We'll see." And the next day the horse comes back, and with it brings 4 wild horses, so like indicating that was good luck. And then the next day his son breaks his leg trying to train one of the wild horses, and they say, "Well, that's bad luck," and he says, "We'll see." And then the next day there's like a war that started and all the young men have to go to it, but his son gets to stay behind because he has a broken leg.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like
But even when the friends say that's good luck, the response is still we'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Yeah.
And that is essentially the butterfly effect.
Right.
Like, because what if his son's role in the battle would have been the one that tipped the scale at a certain point that could have won the war, and the whole country gets invaded, and it's really bad luck.
Right. Yeah. They didn't go that far.
Right. But that's what I always thought in my head at the end of that, because it stops there pretty much. It's like, we'll see.
Yeah.
You're like, oh.
It's more like
the bad luck be.
Right. It's more like make the best of the situation. No matter what.
Yeah. But it is a beautifully done thing, and could have easily served as the finale.
Uh-huh.
They did do a very surprise bonus episode the very next Sunday, literally called Surprise. Mm-hmm. Nobody knew it was coming. They didn't send it to like the TV guide people or the reviewers or anything. There was no synopsis sent out ahead of time or anything. It was really like, poop, hey, new episode. You didn't think it was coming. Here it is. And it was a standard 7-minute thing. Mm-hmm. And it referenced the previous one as well. But it also ended in a way that could have served as a finale for the show. Like it was an epilogue to the sign. So that tied with the sign, tied with the episode before it, kind of made like a little trilogy of storylines.
Yeah, I think so.
But there's more coming. It's going to be
a
while, but they've already said that they have a 4th season, but they're taking a hiatus before it comes out. And so I don't know if that means a jump in time. Mm-hmm. I think it would be neat to see a jump in time, even just a little bit, just a couple years.
I would say that because the voices are real kids.
Right, they are.
And they're getting older.
I think it would be a landmark thing if this was the first TV show that organically grows with this generation.
That would be nice.
It becomes a show aimed at the 10 to 12-year-old format, then jumps to a teenage show.
That'd be
weird. It
kind
of grows.
That'd be
still
weird.
Maintains the same level of, like family friendly and family focused stuff, but we see it grow with the children. I think the closest thing we have to that now are just like reboots of Disney shows when they're
Right.
adults and they're
Right.
cussing and having sex and all kinds of terrible things. They're like, this is not what I wanted with the reboot
Right.
of the show.
Right. Yeah.
But I mean, I think that would be such a unique thing and something that only could be done like today, like starting now. You couldn't have done that years ago. We've seen, Blue's Clues. They've told it's one story.
Right.
All three of the hosts throughout the years are still connected. We see the two hosts.
Thought of a mean thing.
What?
That dog will be dead by now.
How many Blues have there been, Nickelodeon? Give us the answer. Tell us the truth. But wouldn't that be brilliant, though? I mean, I just really think that'd be great. Just a show that follows along, grows. We see a new level of difficulty, a new level of parents trying to parent.
Yeah.
Just seeing where things go.
That'd be crazy.
Callbacks. Jean-Luc. We see that in an episode, at the end of that episode, where they're like teenagers.
Uh-huh.
And she meets Jean-Luc again at the campground. We could see that full episode.
And that's
Ludo Studios. Listen to me. Break
That's
ground.
that's like one of the, that would be a reason right there to say that, it's her and Jean-Luc versus her and Mackenzie.
Mm-hmm.
Because her parents met at a camp.
I don't think people know what you're talking about.
What? Come on.
You have to pretend like they don't know what we're talking about and explain it. And you say inside things.
Well, I don't know if I want to. I want to share the end of.
We'll just say there's
much like Twilight, where it's the vampire or the Wolverine, wolf.
Deadpool or Wolverine. That's what we're talking about. It's not a family-friendly movie. Bluey would never see it.
There is debate on who Bluey ends up marrying.
Because we see flash forwards at some point. And so we don't know who she ends up with. Mm-hmm. And the two leading candidates
two teams
are Mackenzie, which is a boy who is in the friend group.
Uh-huh.
And there have been little moments of not necessarily flirting because they're kids, but just like a connection that might be a little bit more of a connection than other friends. And then a whole episode where she meets Jean-Luc, who only speaks French. I think it's French. It has to be French, right? At a park, national park.
Earl Grey hot. Yeah.
Grey hot. Starfleet.
Starfleet.
Remember Starfleet? And my favorite opinion about this debate came from somebody online, I don't remember who said, I propose a third option. Maybe it's not someone she met when she was 6.
You shut your mouth.
It's a fantastic show. So before we go, a couple points of conversation. They never wear clothes.
Yeah.
Yet they're always doing laundry.
Right. And when Bingo's sick, they're all wearing purple underwear. Underpants. Yeah.
Where do they wear it under? Normally. I don't know. Where did they get all of these pants? Why do they have so many purple underpants?
Why do they got so much laundry when they ain't
Or
wearing clothes?
are they all sharing the same 3 sets of purple underpants for the recording of this movie? Because that's even worse. They have phones. They keep pulling their phones out. From where?
Okay.
Like,
the fur is the clothes.
but then why do they have clothes that they wash? Bandit wiped his pea foot on Bluey's shirt that we've never seen her wear. That's another thing that I really love about this show. Is they don't shy away from funny potty humor. Which, can we just nix the whole idea that you can't do potty humor with kids? It's their favorite thing. It is the most wholesome of the unwholesome jokes that you can do with kids is potty humor. We have done it our whole lives with kids. It's their favorite thing.
What is Natalie's favorite saying?
Poopy diaper duty. Favorite thing to say. It's her favorite thing to say, like, I have something to tell you.
Yeah.
And then she'll whisper to us, poopy diaper duty. It's hilarious. I love it. I never want it to stop. Okay, we got a theory here. Theory about the show.
Okay. What's
the theory is the reason that Bandit and Chili are portrayed as amazing parents, and the reason that some magical elements of the show seem to be portrayed as real, is because Bluey and Bingo are all grown up and retelling these stories to the greater family, and that the final episode will be the fourth wall break that shows us that this is a eulogy for Bandit and Chili's funeral.
Aww.
Or maybe Bandit's funeral.
I was like both of them? That'd
One
be
of their funerals.
horrible.
The last parent alive's funeral.
Wow. That'd be a terrible end for a kids show.
It'd be dark. But if it continued to grow up with our kids.
How I Met Your Mother type thing going on.
And she just ends up with the main character of the show anyway.
Yeah.
Ugh. Awful. Terrible ending. I liked the mother in the last season. When we finally met her, I liked that character. And you killed her. Like, you made us. You accomplished the goal of making us fall in love with this character that's going to be the mother of the children after not having met her, chasing her ourselves for 8 seasons leading up to this, or however many seasons it was. Too
many.
Long time, with just little bits and the yellow umbrellas and the barely missing each other situations and meeting every other member of the group before you meet Ted. We fall in love with it, and then what do? You kill her, and you have Ted go after Robin, who he's not good for. They're not good for each other. They're both awful.
We spent however many years learning that, right?
Oh. Why'd you get me on that? Terrible. All right, so the question comes up, are the parents in the show too good?
No.
Too good of parents. Some parents say that the show makes them feel like bad parents.
Well, I would say, why you got a guilty conscience?
Maybe you are bad parents. That's what I would say. No, I say if you're feeling that way about Bluey, compare it to literally every other preschool childhood show.
Right, that's true.
Compare it to Daniel Tiger, where their parents have never made a mistake.
That's true.
Have never raised their voice, have never sent Daniel Tiger to the corner or to his room. They just have a clever song for every possible situation and bad emotion. Every fear. Grown-ups come back. Shut up.
Oh my God.
Sometimes they don't. Let's get real.
Jeez.
That would have had more weight to it if I was like abandoned or something as a kid, but I wasn't. But my parents were there. Anyway.
Oh, goodness.
Frankly,
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think it does enough to make me want to be a good parent, but I don't like feel guilty when I watch it. Like, oh.
It's like
an encouragement.
Yeah,
to me.
it's an encouragement to be better in these situations, but it also makes me feel seen as a parent struggling to do that.
Right.
Struggling to be excited about playing this game with my kid. Struggling not to yell at them when they're not picking up their toys fast enough. That kind of, I mean, there's that whole episode where he's having to bargain with Bluey to clean up her mess.
Right.
Like, I'll give you a sticker. I'll give you $1. I'll give you, just do it. And like, can I have, $50 so I can buy this toy I want? And like, no, I shouldn't have to give you anything at all. You should just do it.
Yeah.
And like,
legit conversation.
I feel that deeply in my heart.
Yeah. The incentive turns all of a sudden against you. Yeah.
Final thought. If you didn't have children, do you think you'd enjoy watching this show?
Probably not as much.
Maybe not as much, but would you enjoy it at all?
I think so.
Because, I mean, you watch other shows about families, and you did before you had children.
That's hard for me to say, because when I started watching it, I had kids already.
Yeah. I guess I'm wondering.
I don't know that I would, as an adult, knowing that it's a Disney Junior show, would I have the desire to watch it? I don't know. I might write it off as that's a kid's show.
So my situation, my thought is that we're in a time now where we see clips of these things, whether we're looking for them or not. And there was a season, pretty much any time new episodes come out, like TikTok, there's going to be full of clips from those.
Right.
And I feel like I've seen a few of them that I'd be like, I'd want to see what that was about, even if I wasn't a parent. But I can't say that for sure, because I just don't know if it's because I already have this like instant nostalgia connection to the show.
Right.
Because I'm a parent and I feel that.
Right.
But like there have been cartoons and kids shows and stuff that came long after I was out of that age group that I have wanted to check out episodes of. And I think that's even more true for a lot of nerds who enjoy like anime and manga. Like, most of those are still aimed at children. Some of them aren't, but a lot of them are. And they'll still want to go back and watch them. Even as an adult, they'll try it out. Like it's, again, I go back to The Simpsons. It's not The Simpsons, but it has the same kind of feel to it as maybe the Flintstones did when it first premiered, because it was a primetime show. It was a sitcom. It was an adult show, but it wasn't filthy.
Right.
It wasn't adult oriented. It was a family oriented show, but it was still trying to entertain both children and adults. I think there might have been a pull of one day I will be a parent, and this appeals to me as what I would like to see family be like, and what appears to be more genuine than Blue's Clues. That
right.
level of show.
Right. Yeah.
I feel like it might have drawn
They
me
don't, in Bluey,
bit.
they don't like dumb it down.
Yeah.
At all. Like it is.
They treat you and the children as smart.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not saying I'd binge watch it, but I think I would have checked it out at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a really good show. If you're a parent, watch it. This is one of those shows. There've always been like little jokes, and I guarantee you most of these jokes that you've heard are talking about this exact show. And it's when it's been 30 minutes before you realize that your children have gone off to their room to play and you're watching their shows by yourself. It's Bluey. Bluey's the show that you're watching. So if you have not seen it yet, if your children have not seen it yet, where have you been? Go check it out right now. They play it on Disney Junior on the cable if you have the cable, but it is all on Disney Plus. There's a lot of clips and stuff on YouTube as well. They have come out with 3 seasons worth of episodes. Each episode is about 7 minutes long. Each season has roughly 50 or so.
I think so.
Of these episodes. And then they've just come out with a bunch of mini, like 2 to 3 minute episodes.
They're cute.
That have come out, like a dozen of those. We probably won't be getting more for a while, but more are coming.
So we'll get them hooked just so they can't get any more for a while.
Yeah. It's enough. It's enough to give you a good amount. It's not like, TV these days where it's like, well, here's 8 episodes.
Right.
We'll be back with the next season in 2 years. Severance. Looking at you. You're talking about Severance. I need to make you watch Severance. It's such a good show.
Know what you're talking about. I thought you were talking about Mandalorian.
Also, we're getting like a Ted Lasso season 4. God, I can't believe it.
Show. Jeez.
Can't believe it. Ted Lasso's the most wholesome adult TV show on TV. But it's got a lot of cursing in it.
So that is not true.
It's an oxymoron. But it is true, and anyone who's seen it will know what I mean. Subscribe to the Nerd History Podcast via our brand new YouTube channel, youtube.com/@NerdHistoryLTN, or on Spotify, Apple Podcast, any place you get your podcasts. You can find us on lovethynerd.com/nerdhistorypod. We also have our daily Today in Nerd History video, short, and article that comes out every day at lovethynerd.com/nerdhistory, or just go to lovethynerd.com on the main face of the page, and that'll right there. It's right next to the logo. So, boom, Today in Nerd History. We should be back in 2 weeks with a new episode if we can raise enough bells to pay off our studio upgrade to that crook, Tom Nook. But until then, I'm Radio Matt.
And I'm Deidra.
And remember, in the past, the present, and future,
Jesus loves you, nerds.